Hi all, thanks for joining us on this very sunny and late Friday afternoon for the last Release Note webinar. Today we'll be looking at CRM and order management and W&D with Chloe and Marcel. So without further ado, you can take it away.
Hi everyone, I'm Chloe. I will start with presenting the CRM and order management features from the new release. Okay. So please just mute your microphone during the presentation, and if you have any questions, you can send it directly via the chat window, and we will answer your questions. Okay, so I will be starting with the customer invoice installments and also the vendor bill installments. So let's start with the customer invoice installments. So this is a very interesting new feature. So what it solves is that today it's very difficult to split a customer invoice into different payments. What I mean is if you want to split an invoice with different payment terms within this invoice, it's not possible today. So with the new feature, it's really easy to automate the creation of invoice installments from the sales order and then copy them to the invoice. You can also create an invoice directly and set different installments dates for this invoice. Those fields for the installments are also available in the different reports, save searches. So that's really handy to use those fields for reporting on those installments. I'm going to show you a short presentation on how to do the setup and also show you a demo of how it works. Let me just show my other screen. All right. So let's connect to NetSuite quickly for me to show you how it works. All right, so this is a test account, so there are no real data actually, but this is gonna be nice for our demonstration. So to set up this new feature, you need to start by going to setup, company, enable feature. And then you go to the accounting tab and you scroll down to check the box for installments, manage installments and related payments for AR and AP. So as you see, this is gonna enable the feature for both your invoices, I mean customer invoices, and also your supplier bills. So this is the first step. Please make sure it's enabled. And then you will need to go start the setup of the installments. So if you go here under setup, accounting, then you go to accounting list. You select the type term for your accounting list. And this is a normal term. I mean, this is the same feature as before. So you will continue having the previous terms you created, but you will be able to create new terms. So I will show you a term I've created just for this demo so that you can see how it works. So you have new options. The option you want to use, if you want to use installments, is to check the box here under installments. This will show you different new options in the screen. In this example here, I check installments, and then I select a certain number of a day of the month due. So meaning that here I'm gonna put installments. I'm gonna create installments for each 10th of every month. For example, 10th of April, 10th of May, 10th of June, etc. Here there is a new field also called due next month if within days. This is used if you want to include an installment for the next period. For example, if you create a bill on the 25th of April, the bill will be due for the month of May, not for the month of April. So because the 25th is included in the 5 last day of the month. Here you have several other options. So you can select a recurrence. So here I have selected monthly, meaning that every month there will be a new installment proposed, but you could also select every week, every year, whatever. There are different options if you create a new one. And I also select a recurrence count, so every 3 months. So here you see that there are 3 installments. I will repeat it every month. Okay. If I check the box here, split evently, what it's going to do is that it's going to split the invoice in different installments with the same percentage. Here I have typed directly the percentage. So you can select the percentage you want. So for example, for the first month, you could say, yeah, I want to bill 70% the first month, and then you can adjust the other periods, right? So you can select whatever you want here. So there are different options. This one is the one we are going to use for our demonstration. I will just show you the other option. If you create a new one, here you see that you have other type of fields. So when you select installments, I use the standard way. Okay, as I said, there are annually, daily options in terms of recurrence. You have different counts that you could set. And the main difference I want to show you here is that you could set a standard term or a date-driven term. So the date-driven term is the example I showed you just before, meaning that we are going to set installments based on the date, so based on the 10th, so on the 10th of every month, there will be an installment for each 10th of the month. But I could also select standard, and then it's just the dates till net due that we can use. So this date will be used for your installment, and here you want to enter the day of the month for which the payment is due. So I'm just gonna show you now an example using the term that we have seen together before, this one. So as you see, we have 3 different installments, 50%, 25%, 25%. So now if I go to a sales order, I will show you an example. If I go to a sales order under the billing tab, I can select the term that I have created, and there is a new installment sub-tab with this feature that you see here. And as you see, the system has split the invoice for this sales order with 50%, 25%, 25%. As you can see here, we have the taxes that are added to the first installment. So here we have, a tax amount of 56. So the tax amount is added to the first installment. This is the only option for now. So you cannot split the taxes. What you can do here, so the system will propose those 3 installments. And the next step is to go to your invoice. So here I've created the invoice for you just to make the demo easier. So when you create your invoice from a sales order, the billing terms will be copied directly. And under the billing tab, you see your installments proposed. And here, the dates are automatically populated, right? In the sales order, there are no dates because, of course, it depends on when you will be creating the invoice. So the invoice was created today, so the next billing will be in May, on the 10th of May, because we have been using 10th of the month in the term. Okay, so here, just to show you a couple of options that you have in the invoice itself, not in the sales order. You can override the installments. So meaning that if you want to adjust the installments manually, let's say, okay, so I don't want to bill that day, I want to bill on the 15th, and I want to split, for example, the taxes, so let's put, I don't know, 20 something. So you can change you can change the amount and the due date here. If you check this out, okay, it comes back to the original amount. And you can also refresh your installments if you change your terms. If you change the terms here, then you can come and refresh the installments and it's going to recalculate everything. Okay, so that's how it works for the invoice. Just a couple of information that you might be interested in as well. In your there is no change in your GL impact for the invoices, so meaning that the recognition is made on the creation of the invoice, so it's not per installment. The aging report has been updated also by NetSuite. So if you go to report and then customer receivable and you look at the AR aging balance, you go to view the detail, then you will see that for each invoice, you have the invoice several times, right? And you have the amount. So the amount is split per invoice. So one invoice is listed different times, and the due dates are different. So you have one line per installment. When you do your payment, it doesn't change anything when you do your payment. You will just do the payment per installment. I can show you an example quickly. In the invoice now, if I go to accept payment, I see here the installment reference number for the invoices. Automatically, the first installment of the invoice we were in is automatically checked. You can do the same thing as you do for the other invoice, so you can make a partial payment, you can select several invoices, you can auto apply the amount. It doesn't change anything. The only change is that the invoice is splitted into different payments. So this feature can be also used in the same time with the billing, the billing schedule. Just a quick reminder: the billing schedule allows you to set different invoices, different bills, and this feature allows you to put different installments for one bill or for one invoice. Okay, so this was for the customer invoice. Let me present again. Okay, now we can speak about the vendor bill installments. So the logic is exactly the same. So before it was not possible to split a vendor bill into different payments. And today this is possible to sorry, there is a mistake here, to automate the creation of bill installment on your purchase order, not the sales order, and then it automatically creates also the, sorry, it also creates automatically the installments on the vendor bill. I can show you a quick example as well. The setup is the exact same as we've seen before, right? So you just need to enable the feature, and under your under the terms, you need to create the terms. A term can be used for both AR and AP. So if you want to use the same for, so you can use the same terms for your invoices and your bills. So you don't need to recreate any payment terms if you want to reuse the same ones. If we take a purchase order now and we go have a look at the billing subtab, that's the same process. We select the term, and then the system automatically proposes the split of the installment for the invoice, for the bill. And then if we look at the bill, and there's a billing subtab, yeah, the split is automatically automatically made. So same logic, the report, the aging report is also updated with the split per installment, and you can authorize the payment for each line or several lines at the same time. Just one thing that you may want to be aware of is that the standard PDFs today are not updated with the display of the different installments. So the invoice PDF and the invoice PDF and also the sales order PDF, for example, do not display this information yet with the standard PDFs. You probably have a customized PDF on your system. On the customized PDF, of course, we can adjust the PDF if you need it. Okay, that's it on my side. So I will let my colleague Marcel to show you the rest of the presentation.
Thank you, Chloe. Hello, everybody. I'm Marcel, and I want to show you some new features in the warehouse distribution manufacturing area. I won't repeat the request to mute during the presentation. What I would like to show you is are some new features in the Control Tower Snapshot feature, the Buildable Quantity, which are now available in searches. There's decimal resource values in the work center to allow you to allocate one person across the different work centers that you have. And there's a new item record communication subtab, which I would like to show you as well. Starting off with Control Tower Snapshot enhancements. One note up front, this feature has a few prerequisites. You need the advanced inventory module in your license to be able to use this supply chain snapshot, and you need the multi-location inventory feature enabled for this to work. So just to keep that in mind. And another note, your locations need to have a specific setting to be able to show them in your snapshot, but I will show you that in the demo as well. What the enhancements do, we have some additional fields available in the view that you can create yourself for your supply chain, which are fully customizable. And before the 2019.1 version, those fields were kind of limited, and it was often needed to drill down into individual transactions to come up with, for example, a customer name of a sales order that you would see in your snapshot. Let me switch to where am I? With some delay. Can I enter, get into one password here? Okay, yeah. So you need to get back to one password. And just open it up with yeah. Where is it?
Sorry, just 1 second.
Which one do you need?
Awesome. Nothing for that.
Okay, sorry, just 1 second. We just need, yeah, okay.
That looks promising. Sorry for the delay, but we're here. Okay, the first thing I would like to show you, as already briefly mentioned, in order for the supply chain snapshot to work, you need a specific setting in your location. It's not a new feature, but I just wanted to show you anyway, just to make you aware in case you want to start using it. If I open up, for example, my Boston location, in this case, in my demo account, you'll see that there's a setting here, a checkbox, which says including control tower. This has to be ticked in order to be able to include this particular location in your supply chain snapshot. Now let's actually see what the supply chain snapshot does and where the new feature comes in. I'm opening up this item. And I can run my supply chain snapshot from here. And what you can see here is just a quick overview of where of your item and what the future inventory looks like. Now, as you can see, you can do that across all your locations, and it will totalize the overall quantity of inventory that you have at the end of the horizon that you're looking at. As you can see here in the snapshot, my future horizon date is till the 8th of June. So I'm looking at all the transactions for this particular item in my supply chain. So as you can see, there's several transactions in my account. I've got a work order here, so that's an amount coming in. I've got sales orders going out. I've got a transfer order. And I've got a purchase order coming in as well. I can filter on locations, which obviously changes the quantities and changes the total inventory available. Now the new feature coming in with this version allows me to pull in some additional fields into my customized view. So if I customize my view, which opens up the underlying safe search, because it's nothing more than a safe search, which you can tweak yourself. And I can add additional fields. And there's some new ones there. The most important one, or one of the most important ones, is entity, for example, which I can add. And I can also add which might be very handy as well. I've got a bit of a problem with your pad. Oh. Status. I'll move that across to the transaction, make it a bit clearer. I'm doing the same with the status. Now, as you can see, I've pulled in the entity, which gives me the customer name in case of a sales order, and it gives me the vendor name in case of a purchase order. And it also shows me the status, which can come in very handy as well for all different transactions, because you know where you are in the whole process. Just a quick note on refresh. The snapshot is stored on the system, so you need to refresh it if you open it. If you would like to do that, you can actually script the refresh. So you can do it on a temporary basis, let's say very early in the morning, and refresh all your snapshots across your items. So you always have up-to-date snapshots available for you to report on. Just as a quick note on the side. Yeah, back to the presentation. I'll move to this screen. On the other side. Oh, hang on. Okay, a buildable quantity field. It improves the visibility into your manufacturing analytics because it will show you if you have any work orders on your system for which you do not have enough components to actually build them. So that's a very handy field to have. And it's available. This field is available in filtering and in your safe searches. Full screen again. Now I've got a safe search here on my dashboard, which lists the work orders that I have on the system with a specific date filter on it. So these are the quantities that I want to build. Now what the new version allows me to do is to edit this safe search at some stage.
It's Friday afternoon at
Yeah. Friday afternoon, 4:30, but this is
US time.
okay. So in this safe search, we now have a new field available. Oh, called Buildable. I can put that in. I'll move that up next to the quantity, which makes it a bit easier to read. I save my saved search. And in my work order overview, I now have the buildable quantity available. So you can immediately see if you have any work order sitting on your system for which you do not have enough components in your inventory at the moment. So basically what it does, it looks at your assembly item, it looks at the underlying bill of materials, and it checks the inventory for all the components within your bill of material for this item to see if you have enough components to build it. Now, as you can see, I can still build these, but for this work order, I do not have enough components in my inventory at the moment. So that's a very easy trigger to make sure that you come into action if you do not have enough components. Hang on. Let's make the presentation. So that was the buildable quantity. The last three more features that I would like to show you, I've put them in one sheet because they're relatively easy to show. So I'll show you them in one go once I open up my demo account. You can now put in a decimal figure for your resource values in your work center, so in your manufacturing departments. There's a new item communications sub-tab available, and you can now edit legacy BOMs, which comes with the advanced BOM feature. Just fine, right? Where is it? Okay, so your decimal resource values, I'd like to show you that at first. So what I do is I go to my work centers, which is a group. I go to my assembly cell as an example. Which, as you can see, is a manufacturing work center. Now, in my tab Manufacturing Work Center Settings, I can now put in a decimal figure. So instead of 2, I can make it 1.5 FTEs, which is new. So you can actually account for the fact that somebody's working half a day in your assembly cell and for half a day in your, let's say, packing department. Which obviously also allows for a better manufacturing cost calculation. The items communication subtab. I go back to the assembly item that we just looked at. And as you can see, we now have a communication subtab, which wasn't there before. It's the standard communication subtab that you see elsewhere on the system. So you have activities, files available, and do what you usually do in the communication subtab. And apart from having this available in all the items, so it's not just an assembly item, but also inventory items, non-inventory items, other charges, basically all types of items. You also have this communication tab available now in your bill of materials. And in your manufacturing routing, which might come in handy as well if you want to add some documents there or trigger actions from those areas. The last one I want to show you is edit of legacy bills of material. if you enable the feature advanced bill of material, all your existing bill of materials would normally are transferred into legacy bill of materials, and you were not able to edit those at all. So if you want to keep using a legacy bill of material and edit it, you had to copy it and link it to your item. Now with the new version, you can edit legacy BOMs even after you've enabled the advanced bill of material feature. I'll show you the preference. Because there's a very important note to mention. After you've enabled the advanced bill of material feature, you can go into your accounting preferences and under your work orders, hang on. Why don't I see them? Oh, hang on. Yeah, it's order management. Here we have a feature of the setting which allows you to edit legacy BOMs. Now, if you would turn this on, the first time you turn this on, the system will warn you that if you do this and you start editing legacy BOMs, you can never disable the advanced bills of material feature again. So that's a very important note to keep in the back of your, or in your, to keep in mind. So editing legacy BOMs means you will never be able to disable this advanced bills of material feature. Now, once you've enabled this, you can go into your legacy BOM, bills of material. I'll just pick one. This is the one of the item that we just looked at. And you see that even though this is now a legacy bill of material, I can change the revision that was created and add or change components without the need to copy the legacy bill of material first and then link it back to your item. So it makes life a lot easier if you want to keep using those legacy bills of material. So that's all from my end. You do a wrap up, Bas?
Yeah, thanks everyone for sticking around on a late Friday afternoon. I just want to close off with reminding you to register for our user day on the 21st of May. We'll have an afternoon with various speakers from NetSuite and a good opportunity to meet other NetSuite users. We'll be at the Oracle office in Utrecht. If any questions pop to mind about any of these features, feel free to contact me at bus@fast4.com or Marcel@fast4.com or Chloe@fast4.com. Thanks very much everyone and have a good weekend.